Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right into it, because over the past year, artificial intelligence has completely transitioned. It's gone from being this flashy tech buzzword you hear at conferences to literally the core of modern cyber warfare. What we are looking at right now is a landscape where both attackers and defenders are aggressively leveraging AI in a very high-stakes arms race.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The AI cyber arms race. 2. Weaponizing generative AI threats. 3. Smarter defenses and AI SOC. 4. The cybersecurity skills gap. And finally, 5. Strategies for business resilience.
Section 1. The AI cyber arms race.
Okay, get this. We are looking at a staggering 1,265% surge in AI-linked phishing attacks. Over 1,000%. This proves the threat is no longer theoretical, It's here, and it is aggressive. What used to take real skill, manual labor, and time can now just be generated in seconds using a basic prompt. And for those of you running small to medium enterprises in New Zealand, this is a completely critical development. Attackers know smaller teams might not have massive 24/7 security departments, so Kiwi SMEs are frequently targeted by these automated campaigns. Generative AI fundamentally lowers the barrier to entry, meaning cybercriminals can blast out thousands of sophisticated attacks at your business with absolutely zero extra effort.
Can you imagine being the employee trying to sift through thousands of alerts a day? It's like finding a needle in a massive haystack. As attackers use AI to automate their assaults, traditional defenses are just getting completely overwhelmed with warning after warning. So relying purely on human operators to sift through all this noise, or just expecting your team to spot generic spelling mistakes in phishing emails, that is simply no longer a viable strategy.
Section 2. Weaponizing generative AI threats.
This contrast is truly eye-opening. It shows how generative AI has completely flipped the economics of cybercrime. Think about the old way, clumsy, poorly worded emails that might take an attacker 16 hours to research and design. Now look at the AI way. Flawless, hyper-personalized lures generated in just 5 minutes. These models can scrape a target's entire online presence and craft messages that reference real local projects, vendors, or Kiwi colleagues. It makes flawless phishing infinitely scalable.
Now, what's genuinely terrifying is this number right here, $25.6 million. That was the loss resulting from a single deepfake scam that actually happened to a global engineering firm. Fraudsters literally cloned the video and the voice of the company's chief financial officer to conduct a live video call with an employee, completely tricking them into transferring the funds. Notice, this wasn't some complex Matrix-style network hack. It was technology-boosted social engineering, designed entirely to breach human trust.
But unfortunately, it's not just social engineering. Attackers are also heavily using polymorphic malware. Basically, this is malicious code that uses AI to continuously rewrite itself. Sometimes it morphs every 15 seconds during an attack. Because its signature is constantly changing, traditional signature-based antivirus software, which is exactly the kind most small businesses install and just forget about, is rendered completely useless. It's a prime example of why legacy tools are totally failing us right now.
Section 3. Smarter defenses and AI SOC.
All right, let's pivot to the good news, because there is real, tangible economic relief in this counterstrike. According to recent data, the average cost of a data breach sits around $4.4 million. Ouch. However, organizations using extensive security AI and automation see that cost drop to $2.5 million. That is a massive savings of roughly $1.9 million per breach, and it's achieved entirely through faster detection and reduced remediation efforts.
In the business-centric ROI, it's huge. Organizations are actually reporting an 830% return on investment over 3 years just from deploying an AI security operations center. Now, for New Zealand SMEs, this is a total game changer. Why? Because you do not have to build this from scratch. By integrating out-of-the-box AI tools or partnering with managed AI providers, SMEs can reach full deployment in just 2 to 4 weeks. You augment your existing IT staff, and you start seeing this kind of ROI compound almost immediately through saved analyst hours and avoided incidents.
So how exactly is that ROI generated? Well, it's through this rapid 3-step containment process. Step 1. AI sensors detect subtle abnormal behaviors instead of waiting around for known signatures. Step 2. The AI connects the dots, correlating low-level, seemingly random alerts into one high-priority incident. And Step 3. SOAR, which stands for Security, Orchestration, Automation, and Response,
steps in and autonomously isolates the infected machine. This incredibly fast process drops the alert to triage time from an hour down to just 2 minutes. It stops threats dead in their tracks before they can spread.
Section 4. The Cybersecurity Skills Gap. So, while AI adoption is nearly universal, literally 97% of organizations are using or planning to use it, the actual human skills required to govern these complex systems are definitely lagging behind. And this skills gap, it introduces a massive new financial risk. If you don't know how to interpret the outputs of your AI systems, or how to properly secure the AI models themselves against things like prompt injection, where attackers trick the AI, or data poisoning, where the AI's learning data is deliberately corrupted, well, your shiny new tools can very quickly become liabilities.
I absolutely love this quote. AI adoption is not a story of workforce reduction. It's a story of workforce transformation. It hits the nail on the head. AI is supposed to be a co-pilot. It's meant to cure the intense burnout that your analysts face from drowning in false alarms, not replace them. By taking over the tedious Tier 1 triage, AI transforms the workforce, letting your dedicated security pros step up into the role of threat hunters and strategic advisors.
And when we look at where teams are actually applying AI right now, it makes perfect sense. 66% are using it for threat detection, 55% for automation, and 52% for threat intelligence. Teams are purposefully pointing AI toward these highly data-intensive areas to free up the humans. It allows people to focus on context, communication, and higher-value strategic decision-making. For a smaller Kiwi business, this effectively multiplies the capabilities of a single IT manager.
Section 5. Strategies for Business Resilience.
Let's wrap up with an actionable playbook. These steps are aligned with the National Institute of Standards and Technology framework, and they highlight exactly why this matters. Poor AI implementation is not just an IT problem. It demands comprehensive governance across the board. You absolutely have to establish acceptable use policies. You need to upskill your teams. And hey, that doesn't mean hiring a bunch of PhDs. It just means building working AI literacy. You also need to perform adversarial testing, which means deliberately simulating AI-driven attacks against your own organization to see how your people and your systems actually hold up.
The major takeaway I want you to remember is this: investing in AI technologies without investing in the people who manage them will actually increase your overall risk. Whether you are a massive global enterprise or a local Kiwi SME, success always starts with your team. If you don't have the resources for internal training, lean on local cybersecurity partners to help bridge that gap. Actively pair your tech adoption with continuous training, cross-functional collaboration, and a really clear understanding of AI's limitations.
I'll leave you with a bit of a provocative question to evaluate your own organization's readiness for this new frontier. In the AI arms race, is your organization just letting machines blindly fight your battles, or are you truly empowering your people to lead them? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and adapt.